Okay.
Cool.
All right. Welcome back. Another episode, Throwing Hammers Podcast, UFC 288 review.
Yes.
A lot to talk about.
A lot to talk
Crazy,
about.
a lot. I mean, I thought this event was really good. I thought the fights were really good. I thought the prelims were awesome.
Yep.
I thought the pre-prelims were awesome, whatever they call those.
Early prelims.
Prelims. Main card was pretty awesome, I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots
to get into. Super excited.
Talk about, but we can start. I just gotta pull up the right screen here, but
yeah,
we will.
I was gonna say, how early do you want to start here?
I don't know what time is it.
I'll be honest. I missed the first two early prelims.
Yeah. So
we're golfing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We don't. I mean, only notable. Well, good
Phil
fights.
Haas.
Yeah, Phil Haas got knocked out.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. And then Ribeiro, that was a good fight. The first fight to start the card was really good. I mean, back and forth, and Ribeiro ended up knocking him out, but won some money on that one. That's why it's important. That's why we'll mention it, because
second round, right? That was the one.
Dollar bet paid $650, second round knockout.
Yeah, I like those bets that you pick the method of victory and the round. Yeah. Those are pretty tempting odds always. So.
Yeah, those are good. Did you see Braxton Smith and Park?
Oh,
so that was
huge traps. Yeah.
Oh, Braxton Smith. Yeah, that guy's enormous.
Shoulders,
like he might be He's got to be the widest individual I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it was his first fight in the UFC too, right?
Was it? I don't know. I think it was. Yeah,
I thought it was.
There was a couple guys at first fights in the UFC. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he looked good to start, and then he just kind of gassed himself out, it looked like.
Or he was throwing haymakers, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Parker Porter's pretty lucky he didn't catch one of those haymakers, because he was throwing bombs in the beginning.
He was giving it his all.
Yeah, it was. And then after it seemed like after not even 2 minutes, he was gassed.
He was done. No, yeah, he hit a point in the first round where he was done. Yeah,
Parker got him down, and he basically just laid there. He wasn't even trying to get up.
Yeah,
that was. I felt whatever. I'm not criticizing, but it was just crazy how he just laid there and basically.
Right.
It was over.
Yeah, I mean, those heavyweight fights are always super interesting. They're always, I feel like a lot of these guys who are not high ranked in the heavyweight division will start out super fast and just throw bombs and try to get them out of there, have a big knockout and move up. Parker Porter kind of played it smart.
And it's kudos to Parker Porter weighing in at 249. He's been previously 260 plus.
Yeah. And
that's what he talked about in this fight, getting in better shape, getting in quicker against the bigger guy. Mm-hmm. And Braxton Smith weighed in at the limit for sure. He was 265, whatever.
Yeah.
But
big dude. Scary dude. If it was his first fight in the UFC, is that confirmed or not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if it was, then he probably still has a good future ahead of him. He looked,
Yeah,
until he gassed himself out.
Definitely raw, ex-NFL player.
Yeah.
They said on the broadcast he once ran a 4.40, which is insanity.
Ridiculous.
That's wide receiver kind of speed almost wide receivers
today,
yeah. But
that's
I don't know what he weighed when he did that, but it was
that's insane.
Huge. That guy's legs are just tree trunks. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. Scary guy to go against.
Just
for sure.
Crazy. So good on that. Good on Parker Porter. Came back, lost his last two fights and came back and won this one. So
yeah.
Kind of took care of business like he should have.
Right.
Way more experienced fighter.
Yeah.
Better on the ground. I think he's got a black belt, I want to say now, or brown belt maybe. I'm not sure what they said, but but he's been working hard at that.
Black belt or something. He said something like that. He's not going to get it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Working really hard at jiu-jitsu and showing that he's I don't know. I always liked him. I don't know why. I liked Parker Porter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like heavyweight division might need some new blood coming in shortly here as far as...
Well, and that's the thing they mentioned too. It's that heavyweight division is really man, you put a couple wins together, you're
there.
You're pretty much in the top 10 right away. You're, it's there's the division is not, I wouldn't call it thin, but there's guys that are dropping down that used to be, top 5.
Tai Tuivasa, I don't know what he's ranked now, but he's coming off a couple,
Yeah,
losses.
I mean, it's like I said, there's these guys that are in that division that keep hanging around, and Parker Porter's one of them. Dawkins is another one that's kind of like loses a couple, wins one, loses a couple more, wins another one. Like
right.
They hang around and they're they end up taking good fights and fighting good guys. And I'd like to see Parker Porter fight somebody.
Yeah, 14-8
whatever
in his career. Yeah, good for him.
Maybe we'll move that up the rank. Maybe he'll move up a little bit in the rankings, but
yeah. Definitely.
Whatever. So good on him. So that's really it for early prelims. I mean, we mentioned Phil Haas got knocked out.
Yeah. Like I said, can't lie, I did miss the first
crazy punch though. I mean, it was like Phil Haas was looking really good, coming back, but it was kind of a back and forth fight. But he just got caught. I mean, the guy just caught him.
Yeah.
This Ikram Ozlikarov.
Looks like Islam. Well,
Yeah.
As I get closer, he doesn't. But
yeah,
got the same chin strap.
Same beard, same hair.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So he looked really good. But yeah, cool on Parker Porter. So we can move up to the regular prelims. Marina Rodriguez against Verna. How do you say her last name?
Jandiroba, I believe. Yeah.
So yeah, Jandiroba. I mean, this was a pretty dominant fight by her, and it was, pretty much. Marina Rodriguez just couldn't stop her taking. Couldn't stop the takedowns. Right. That's what it came down to.
I believe she was the favorite too, wasn't she? Or
she was a favorite.
Higher ranked. Okay, betting favorite. I believe she was at the time higher ranked than Jandiroba.
I don't know, but she's definitely looked better on the feet. Couldn't keep the fight on the feet. Got taken down. Yeah. Got dominated on the ground. I mean, it was really a no contest on the ground. It was really all three rounds were dominant by Verna. It's really nothing much to say other than that, other than
maybe a 10-8 round in there.
Yeah, I mean, and and that kind of fight shows you. It's like you got to really, like, if you're going to be an MMA fighter, you really got to do more than one thing. You can't just stand up. Right. You go against a guy or a girl has a complete game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We see a lot of guys. I mean, we'll talk about Gracie, but a lot of guys like that are super one-dimensional. They come in against someone who is, either very well-rounded or just well-rounded, and they struggle,
Well, right, and Gracie, whatever, we'll get into that later, but I mean, it can go both ways. You're either, there's guys that come in as straight-up boxers and kickboxers, and they're not good on the ground, and they get, they're not good at stopping the takedowns, and that's kind of what happened to Marina here. She was just... got taken down, couldn't stop the takedowns, and that's kind of what happened.
Maybe it gets in your head a little bit, too. If you get taken down pretty easily twice, you're just kind of thinking to yourself, man, I can't stop this. I don't know what to do, this or that. I could see that getting kind of carried away, too. But, yeah, very convincing win by Verna Jandiroba.
Oh, you see that pretty good. Did you practice that?
I did not. I was just reading it as I said it.
It's like...
I
couldn't even get the first couple syllables out. You're like, Jandiroba. That's it. That's how you say it.
They said it a lot during the broadcast. Maybe it's ringing a bell.
How you say it.
Subconscious bell.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, good. Moving on, Chaos. Williams against, this is the guy who made his debut too, Rolando Bedoya.
Yep. Yeah. He was super impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was, he looked really confident like that. I'm talking about Bedoya.
Yep.
Bedoya. Looked really confident, and he was loose in there. He's like almost mocking him. He was like, basically pointing at him.
Right.
Like, he would get hit with a really good punch, and Chaos was throwing bombs as usual. And it was just like he just ate the punches and would just like be pointing at him. And
exactly.
I thought it was a great fight back and forth, and super close. But I was super impressed by this Bedoya guy.
Yeah,
and he looked really good. It looked like he was ready to weather the storm, and I think he kind of exposed Chaos, like for the fighter he is, or maybe the lack of fighter he kind of is. It's just the guy is impressive. Has been impressive knocking people out, but kind of got exposed in this fight to like a guy who was a little quicker, a little jabbing him. Like Chaos would come in, he'd just like jab him right in the face.
Well, right. Chaos would, do these very telegraphed rushes in on him where he's just throwing 2 or 3 punches. And Bedoya, I don't know if it was right away or into the first round, he was just able to slip those easily and counter really quick. I was waiting for a time where Chaos was going to blitz him, and he catches him really clean with a right hand or something and knocks him out. I thought that's what was going to happen.
I mean, it seemed like that was what was going to happen in the third round. That's what I thought.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know. It was back and forth, back and forth. They ended up giving Chaos the decision, which I don't agree with. I thought he lost.
Yeah, I thought he lost too, to be honest. One thing I want to say about Bedoya, you were saying he's, taunting him a little bit. It's probably a very confident feeling when you get hit with what you know is probably one of their better punches and you're fine and you eat it.
Yeah.
And my lights aren't shut out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that probably gave him a lot of confidence early in the first round when because like you said, he got touched up for sure.
Yeah.
And was able to eat it, just keep coming right back, which is great. One of the only, I think one of 4 Peruvian fighters on the card, so pretty cool. Added another one.
On this card?
I'm sorry, on the roster.
Shit, I was going to say, wow, that's something to talk about.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. On the roster, yeah. So
4 Peruvian fighters means they should have a fight in Peru.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I was going to say it should have been in Peru. No, there's only 4. He might have been the 5th, but I think he was one of 4 active Peruvian UFC fighters. So cool to see MMA expanding its horizons a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I thought he was great making his debut. Like I said, didn't look nervous at all, and kind of took care of business on that. And
definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't get the win, but took care of business for sure. Made a what I would definitely call a statement.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing where the guy lost. It's like we talked about before. It's like the guy lost, but I mean, it was impressive.
But right,
and he's going to get some good fights in the future because of that.
Right.
So
definitely.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. We got Kennedy.
Njoku. I know. I said it. I thought I had it down, and I was saying it during the fight, and then I was wrong.
Yeah.
So Kennedy. We'll go Kennedy versus Devin Clark.
Njoku.
Njoku.
All right, we won't try and butcher anybody else's names because I don't like when people do it to my last name.
Yeah.
Either. But yeah, this is a good fight too, back and forth.
A great fight.
Devin Clark, really. But yeah,
I thought Kennedy looked great.
He's
good. Impressed me multiple times in the octagon. I think he's a great fighter. Yeah.
It was super back and forth, and then like in the first round, I thought Devin Clark was going to knock him out.
Yeah,
like it was close. It was that close where I thought,
it was definitely close.
This is going to be the end here. But then, I mean, Kennedy kind of did the same thing, weathered the storm, and then took over and ended up submitting him in the second round. But I mean, that was a good fight. And like I said, this card had some real, top to bottom. I mean, this is one of the better, cards. Not on paper, but afterwards, you're looking at it like every fight was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any fights that were like, oh shit, that was boring, or that was
they all had their own
everybody
something about it that was good.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of people on Twitter before this event saying this is a shitty ass pay-per-view, this and that, but it just shows you can't ever really say what's going to be good or bad before you watch it, because you never know with this sport.
I don't know.
I think if you're a fan of the sport and watching it, you should be a fan of good fights either way, no matter who it is.
Right, and those people are probably the ones that tune in for big names.
Right, exactly.
They don't know.
They're not tuning in for Drew Dober versus Matt Frevola.
Right, they don't
fucking
right, and maybe they don't know these. Whatever. They don't know a lot of the guys in the prelims, which whatever. We don't know everybody, but these are familiar names to us. But we follow the sport pretty closely.
I would say. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, good fight there. So good on Kennedy. I mean, that was impressive.
Yeah, that's a great fight. It's a great matchup. I love a light heavyweight fight. I think it's the perfect combination of, I don't know, I feel like they're quick, but they're throwing bombs at the same time.
Yeah.
They can go to the ground.
Yep.
Kennedy submitted him. I think it's a perfect weight class. So yeah, great fight all on that.
Yeah, definitely.
The rankings a little.
No, I like to pull up the rankings as we get closer to the
Jamal
main
Hill
events here.
On top with Yuri.
Yeah.
And then a lot to be decided underneath him, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good division.
Let's see what Blachowicz is doing.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Roundtree's fighting soon too. He's 14.
Oh yeah.
I think he's coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm on the card. But yeah, just pulling this up to see where we're at a little bit, because the next fight I wanted to talk about, see who's up next for the Steamrolla.
Dude, I can't. I'm so happy. This is definitely maybe the happiest out of any of the fights on the card. Belal made me happy too, but seeing that, I mean, we don't have to jump into it right now. But
no, let's jump into it. Yeah, this is two guys I really like. I really like Drew Dober too. I really like Frevola, and I I've been following Frevola more on Twitter, and he just kind of got on Twitter like within the last, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year.
Oh,
even,
really?
Not even. So
well, he does. I was gonna say he does a fantastic job of interacting with people.
I don't know. He's a really interesting follow, and he's a guy that interacts with a lot of people and likes a lot of our tweets, and kind of react. I think we had some.
You put your story or your
video
and I
think
on a story, retweeting your video, and this and that.
Yeah, and I think we messaged him a long time ago about coming on the podcast, maybe, and
I believe he was game. So if you're seeing this, Matt, let us know.
Matt, you have an open seat right over.
Yeah, wherever you want, man. Sit on the table if you want.
Him, you can sit right here. I'm just kidding.
No, for sure. I mean, he's definitely. That's how you do. Like, if you're, if you're not ranked in the top 10, if you're not a UFC superstar, this is the formula. You go on social media and you interact with people, and you, I don't know. You got to put yourself out there.
He just seems like a super nice guy, and plus he trains with another guy we like, Billy Q, from Buffalo. We're from Buffalo, so we're always been big Billy Q supporters, and it was cool to see Billy Q on the sidelines there during the fight and stuff.
Definitely.
But it was pretty awesome to see. So
yeah, it was great to see him fight in general. I was excited to see him fight, like you said, because we've had so much interaction with him on Twitter and whatnot, and to see him get a lights out, not lights out,
and to knock out a guy like Drew Dober who doesn't ever get knocked out. You know, it's like, man, that was just, it's another one of those fights. You just knew what was coming. Like, you knew it was back and forth. One of these guys is going to get knocked out.
They're fucking out there throwing.
So they were out there throwing bombs. And what I really liked about Frevola, which I didn't, throwing hammers. Anyways, what I forgot how fluid Frevola was. Like, I didn't go back and watch his other fights. I remember them, but he looked really like loose on the feet. Kicks coming from all directions. Yeah. I thought he looked really good. Like he just looked really quick. Polished.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He looked, to be on top of his game. Saw a video. I think it was just a random fan, but he found himself sitting with Frevola's family. He got the knockout on camera, and his family was going crazy behind him. It was such a cool scene. I think Frevola posted it, but
that's awesome. I just think he's a super nice guy, and like I said, even his movement avoiding some of those punches and kicks by Dober was amazing. I mean, a couple of those kicks, like spinning back kick came around, and he was just like, just moved back a little bit just to get out of the way of it. But man, the movement was really good, and that's kind of what I was surprised at, how well he was moving. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And
a little bit of a hometown fight for him too.
Right.
Long Island, and right over the water there in New Jersey. Called out Patty, stole a little line from Chael Sonnen. Patty Pimblett, you absolutely suck.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's not the first. Better. It's not the first time he's done a little bit of that on Twitter, just like calling out Patty a little bit and whatever. But
didn't Chael say that about Silva though? He's like, Anderson Silva.
You absolutely suck. Yeah.
So whatever.
It was a very similar moment to that. Yeah.
Couldn't have been a better scenario for Matt. Super happy for him. Like I said, we've been interacting with him here or there, and it just makes you watch it a little differently. You feel like
Yeah, I mean that'd be a great fight, but to be honest, I'd like to see him move up. Like Dober's rated 14, so I'm assuming he might just take his place at 14.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of good matchups for Frevola. I mean, even in this bottom half, I mean, you've got Dan Hooker, would be Jalen Turner. You've got guys hanging around from 10 to 13, Moicano. Right. Guys like that. I mean, you want to get a good fight
up there. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think a couple more wins, and this guy's going to be in the top 5. I think. I mean,
I mean, he beats a guy like Jalen Turner. There's no question. He fights maybe RDA. There's no question.
Right. I almost feel like fighting Patty is just not even necessary at this point because he's just not even on the map. And to be honest, he lost. Let's be honest, he lost his last fight, and I just don't feel like he's on.
Yeah. No, you're right.
He's
right.
on the map. He's on the map because he's a big name. It's like calling out the Conor McGregor's kid. basically.
No, exactly. I mean,
It's
you're
like,
totally right.
let's get Patty in the ring so we can get some attention, or whatever. But
I mean, Frevola would also be the biggest name that Patty has fought. Put it that way.
and I think Frevola would kill him. Like, I think he'd just mop him.
Yeah.
You can't fight a guy like I'm not going to go on a Patty bin or a rant here, but I don't like the fact that he doesn't fucking learn.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come in a fight every time with your chin up. He comes in, his chin is wide open. He's never corrected that.
Right.
How come he can't correct
Cage
that?
Warriors and everything like that.
He's going to get smoked against a precision guy like Frevola or one of these other 55ers that are just killers.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine if he fought a guy like Poirier?
Yeah.
Poirier would destroy him.
Yeah, he's fucked. Yeah.
I mean,
he's just not.
Forget about Frevola. Like, Poirier, you fight a guy like that who's proven time and time again that his hands are as accurate as anybody in the division.
Right.
You're going to get killed.
Yeah. No, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
And that's why I don't want to see I like Frevola too much. I don't want to see him be like, oh yeah, I got to fight Patty or whatever. Yeah, great.
Big money fight.
Everybody wants to kill him maybe, but I don't know. I think he'd do himself much better at trying to move, maybe move up a little bit, fight a Dan Hooker, fight a Moicano, then move up and, how great would it see?
I mean, him and Renato Moicano would be a great fight.
And then 2 fights later, how great would it be to see him fight Fiziev or something?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, that, then you're talking.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Exactly. It takes 2 or, 1 or 2 or maybe 3, I'll say 2 more fights within the top 15 for him to be really
this division is so top heavy that, it's going to be hard to break into that top 5. And then, you're going to have to string some, I feel like this could be, it could end up being like another Belal Muhammad situation where it's like the guy's fighting all the time, puts together 8 wins in a row and still doesn't still can't reach the top of that division. And it could happen here because you've got killers up there like Dariush and Chandler and Gaethje and Poirier and Oliveira, and by the time you get past them, it's like then you got to fight Makhachev. It's like, come on, holy shit!
No, I know that division specifically is a gauntlet of
I mean, until some of these guys start either retiring or just losing, which is I don't know. These guys just don't lose a lot. That's the thing either. So
right, yeah. I mean,
Gaethje's not losing a lot. Poirier doesn't lose. Oliveira's losing a little bit, but
right.
But
if Oliveira wins against Dariush, that cements him as number 1.
Yeah, that's going to tell a lot in that division. But I don't know. I love Frevola. I think he's awesome to hopefully move up in the division, fight somebody a little bit above him, and just keep taking those steps to get up in that top 10.
Yeah, keep taking names. I mean, I think this is a 3 or maybe 3 fight win streak for him now.
3 now, yeah.
3 now, so fantastic.
Yeah.
Nothing but good things to say about that fight. Drew Dober's no joke, obviously. He's
well, and that's the thing. Drew Dober was like kind of wishy-washy for a few years, but in the last year or two, he's really put everything together.
Yeah.
He's been looking really good the last few years. And I think he's got everything together, and
yeah. I mean, he had a great win his last fight. I'm spacing on who he fought, but it was a fantastic win.
Yeah, Bobby Green. Yeah, knocked out Bobby Green. So but yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. He's put together some wins too, and that's good on him. And I really love Drew Dober too. But
always exciting. I don't think he lost. I mean, whatever. He lost, but I don't think he lost much stock, I would say. It's not like
that's the thing. It's like he's the kind of guy, it's like I'm always going to tune in. Whoever he's fighting, wherever he's fighting, I'm definitely tuning in.
For sure. Yeah. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah. He's a guy who could headline a fight night or, co-main event on a fight night and, do just fine. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, that wraps up the prelims. So let's move on to the main card.
The main event.
First fight, we've got Kron Gracie against Charles Jourdain. Air Jourdain.
One of the better nicknames in the UFC, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. This kind of was a mismatch, whatever. Not mismatch, but just kind of a stylistic mismatch, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Kron is obviously, dangerous on the ground. Jiu-jitsu, the whole thing comes from a great, obviously the family name and all that.
Yeah.
But what was interesting in this fight too, which they kept mentioning, in his fight, his last fight was 3 years ago against Cub Swanson, and
decision.
I think
It doesn't say won.
Doesn't say if he won or lost.
That's weird.
Anyways, I
Cub
think let's go back and see if it says it here.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought that.
Yeah, it doesn't say. That's so weird.
That is weird. Was that a draw? It says decision though.
I can look it up while we keep
Anyways,
talking,
it doesn't matter. But in that fight, they kept saying that it's like Kron's, in that fight, which I'd like to go back and watch that fight. It was like he stood up the whole time and traded and looked really good on the feet.
Right.
So I'm not really sure what happened in this fight. I mean, obviously a different game plan, and that game plan just didn't work, and was probably ended up being a terrible game plan. But I don't know why he didn't trade more with Jourdain is what I'm trying to say.
You would have thought, right? They said a lot about how it was kind of old school versus new school MMA.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Just looked it up quick. Kron Gracie lost the decision to Cub Swanson at UFC Tampa in 2019.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I don't know. Not too much to say besides really would like to see Jourdain fight someone like Edson Barboza, who he called out, or someone like I'd want to see him in a kickboxing match.
Right. And the thing is, like, I have a lot to say about Jourdain. Like, this guy's hands looked amazing. Yeah. Like, he looked so quick, so on point. Like, you talk about a guy that is a precision boxer.
Yeah.
And like, he didn't even, his kicks are amazing. And I don't know how many kicks he threw, but I think he wasn't throwing kicks because he didn't want to get taken down. I think that was the thing. But his boxing looked amazing. Like, he looked
really good.
Really, really good. I mean,
whatever. He did fight someone who is mainly focused on ground game, but still, I mean, he
right, but he just pieced him up, and he looked like he's going to hang with anybody, really.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think, he's definitely flies under the radar as far as, like I said, going back to, I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying this card has no names. Who the hell is Charles Jourdain? It's like, come on, are you serious? Like,
I think it was like 3 fights ago. I started to remember who he was because it was like, I love this guy. Like, he is, his kicks and everything are just amazing. And then it was like, it was one fight he was fighting, and I was like, oh, who's this guy? And I'm like, oh shit, it's that guy. Yeah, right.
It's like Jourdain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but his last number of fights, I'm like, man, this guy's he's awesome.
He's a killer, man. He's very, very fun to watch, and that's what we like, whatever. And like I said, I'd love to see him in some sort of matchup with a kickboxer or someone who's, whatever. I'd love to see how he does against Edson Barboza.
I mean, it'd be cool to see him fight Barboza or, one of these other guys. But, I don't know. I think he's just got to move up the rankings. If he keeps winning, he's just got to move up.
Right. I mean, he's not ranked right now.
I mean, shit, can you imagine? What about him and Dan Ige? That'd be
a fantastic fight. Yeah. It'd be fantastic.
I mean, there's a lot of good matchups. You want to put a good kickboxing matchup together. I mean, Barboza's.
Yeah,
that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Ige would be
huge
great.
Name for him. Ige would be great as well. Ilya Taporia is in that division, right?
Yeah. I mean, Mosvar, who we'll talk about in a minute, but he looked really good too.
Yeah.
That'd be a great matchup too. But I think it would be awesome to see a guy who's a straight up kickboxer fight Jourdain.
Oh, 100%. I would love that.
A guy with the style of like Wonder Boy, that would go back and forth. What I mean?
Dude, looking up the rankings too, you got Cater. I mean,
yeah.
That's an exciting division.
I mean, hopefully he keeps wins the next couple of fights because you're right. How great would it be to see him fight Calvin Cater?
Yeah, exactly.
Or Josh Emmett, even Arnold Allen. These guys who are
Arnold Allen would be a fantastic fight.
Exactly.
I mean, there's kind of a stalemate at the top with Volk. He's going to fight Yair. Probably going to beat Yair. But looking down in the rankings there, got to watch it like F1, watch the battle for P10,
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you got to watch the guys coming up. This is a very exciting division,
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to see these guys who aren't even ranked that are just amazing.
Yeah.
It's like That's the thing that I don't understand. Is like, how is Jourdain not even ranked? You know?
Right. Well, hopefully when, I think the rankings will come out tomorrow, which is Tuesday. I think that's the day.
Yeah.
Could be way off, but hopefully he's at least in the top 15 after tomorrow.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's pretty awesome on that.
Yeah. If you wanted to move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So we got Movsar Evloev, I think. Man, I gotta
I know we
brush
we're
up on
fucking
these
up
names.
right now.
Sorry.
We're
Apologize to everybody.
Much respect to all fighters on this card. It was a great card.
Apologize to everybody not named Kron Gracie, who's probably the easiest name to pronounce.
Well, we got Diego Lopez. That one's not bad.
Right. Yeah. But Diego Lopez first fight in the UFC.
Yeah, 5 days notice.
Yeah,
Took
crazy.
The fight on 5 days notice, and had if I'm not mistaken, had a good first round. Kind of started to get beat up, and then at the end of the third round, almost fucking submitted him.
Yeah. He had knee bar. He had
a foot lock, knee bar. My god.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, this was a great fight, and Movsar. I mean, you could tell Movsar is super polished, and he's
more experience.
Definitely. This fight went to a decision, but I mean, definitely. I definitely give it to Movsar in the end. I mean, it was definitely
without a doubt. I just wanted to highlight the Diego Lopez 5 days notice, rookie in the UFC, fantastic showing in my opinion.
Yeah. I got a call. Okay, sorry about that.
Quick interruption.
Quick phone call.
Cool.
So Movsar is super polished, and I mean, I don't have any issues with this decision. I mean, it was great, but Diego Lopez, this guy's. You got to give him credit. You got to, look for him in the future, who he's fighting. Write that name down, because in like 3 months, when you're like, the prelims, who the hell's Diego Lopez? Like, we're not going to remember who that is.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why you have to watch prelims. This guy, another thing, first fight in the UFC, took it on 5 days notice, is on one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year so far. It's on the main card.
Right.
This is it's huge. Remember the guy, watch him again when he's on the early prelims, because that's what's going to happen. This is why you have to watch prelims.
I mean, awesome. I felt bad for Bryce Mitchell, who was supposed to be in this fight. Didn't, had an injury, whatever.
Undisclosed injury.
But I mean, I don't know. People were bitching about, how come they didn't put Frevola and Dober on the main card? Then, then you're punishing Movsar for nothing.
Then you're fucking up other people. So I mean, Movsar 17-0 in his career, impeccable. Like you said, very polished.
Yep.
A lot of experience in the octagon. And he's going to be making a run. He's another one of these guys, another one of these Russian guys that are just going to be tearing up their division, and we're going to see where he goes.
I don't know who Toporia's fighting next, but I'd love to see him fight Topuria.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
I think he's got a fight scheduled, though.
I think he does too. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I can look it up really quick. But, definitely want to highlight Diego Lopez as well.
Yeah, I don't know who he's fighting next, but anyways, that would be a great fight. But there's other fights for him too that, I don't know, maybe you bump him up and fight Calvin Kattar.
Yeah,
we'll see. But anyways,
fast track him.
Yeah,
Anyway, he deserves it though. He deserves it.
Put him right up against Volk now.
Volk,
send him.
I mean, hey, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Yeah, he almost got caught at the end, but definitely mind over matter, was in that knee bar, and at one point was wincing pretty hard, but then he kind of gave a nod to his corner, said he was okay, and round ended, and definitely deserved the win for sure.
Yeah, it was good. So good on him, good on Diego. Movsar, looking for big things from him in the future, and just another one of those fighters that's under the radar, and you're one of those guys. It's like you don't remember his name too because it's not too catchy, but you gotta start writing some stuff down.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing.
There's your paper.
I was gonna say,
or your notes section on your phone, and write some fighter names down so you remember who they are.
Well, there's 500 plus fighters on the roster. There's it's a lot to handle, but two guys like this, you definitely got to remember for sure.
Pay attention. Maybe that's why Belal's nickname is Remember the Name.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's not a great nickname, but it's maybe why he chose that.
Nobody remembers his name.
Maybe nobody doesn't remember his name.
Right.
All right. Anyways, we'll talk about him in a minute. But moving on, Jessica Andrade against Jan. I don't know how to say her last name, so I won't butcher that. But Jan I mean, legit
God,
amazing.
She's fantastic.
I mean, holy cow. I picked Andrade on my little stupid betting lines. I picked Andrade, but I don't know.
Maybe if she didn't fight every fucking pay-per-view, I don't know.
That's another discussion.
She fights a lot.
Yeah, I
don't. Same thing when you talk about that with Gilbert Burns, but Jan did what she had to do.
Well, she looked amazing.
In great fashion.
Yeah. She looked amazing. Like it was to me, it was, Andrade had some moments here or there, but Jan was just dominant. It was a dominant performance.
Yeah. She looked so clean, so crisp.
Right.
Caught her coming in. Jan versus Wei Li would be a fantastic fight. Love to do it in China.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, hopefully cool.
Hopefully that comes to fruition, and we'll see, because really other than that, I mean, I don't know if she, it's like Whaley's the champion, and we haven't really heard from Rose in a long time, and who knows what's going on with this Carla Esparza, but and Lemos, I mean, she should, there's good fighters there, but to put her up next to be the next fight, I mean, let's do it.
Let's do it. Exactly.
Why not?
I would love to see that. Like I said, if you can set up a big card in China with a lot of, Chinese fighters, Asian fighters on there, that would be, I love when they do that. If you watch our podcast, I talk about it all the time. I love when they go to a certain area of the world, stack the card with fighters from that area of the world.
Yeah.
I love when they do that. So, and that'd be massive.
He definitely, Dana said he's definitely looking at that, looking at China. So
beautiful. Yeah. Super impressive.
So that's awesome.
More than impressive.
But I mean, you got to think about these fighters that, and that's the thing we talked about before. I don't get it with some of these cards, and I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but it's like, even with Andrade and Burns, it's like, these guys just fought. Like, Burns just fought. Yeah. And it's like, there's no doubt that played a role in him not looking like Gilbert Burns.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And
100%.
And it's like, even Andrade, she's great and all that, but this fight, this is at 115, right? Was this at
strawweight?
Strawweight 115.
Should.
But anyways, that's a weight cut for her,
right,
to get down to 115.
106 to 115. Yeah.
Right. So she fought at 125, and now she's back down at 115. So it's how much more difficult is that to make a lower, a 115 when you're probably walking around at at least 125, 130, whatever.
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like is this? I don't even know what I want to say about this, but it's like, it feels like you look at the cards that are coming up, and still they don't have a lot of fights online. You look in 2 weeks, they don't even have any fights listed.
Right.
And it's like, are they just throwing this shit together at the last second? And we talked about it too. It's like, why did this Belal Burns fight just have 3 weeks notice? And you said because they moved the
Dariush Oliveira
fight, but okay, why did they do that then? I don't, I'm not trying to say there's conspiracies at all, but I'm just saying it's just odd to, you feel like the UFC is so organized, but then when you look at look at the events coming up, and
you pulled up the one,
like a couple events ahead of time, they don't have,
it's only the main event that they have on schedule.
Right. And that's the thing. Are they trying to like throw pull these guys in to basically, put together some fights here or what? I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
and thank God they have these fighters like Burns and Andrade who are like, we'll fight again, like right away, let's go, and
take nothing away from that. As you bring that up, that's super commendable by both of them. We're just saying that,
But here's the thing: it's like, even with Burns, I mean, his fight was pretty dominant against Masvidal, but went the distance.
Still did the weight cut and everything.
And did the weight cut. Andrade's last fight against Blanchfield was a fucking war. It was a war. And that's like, was back and forth, and Blanchfield ended up getting the better of her, but she was messed up in that fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you come right back and fight again. It's like,
well, yeah.
I mean, it's commendable for her, but
I'd rather see someone get a shot who maybe doesn't yet deserve it, or on paper doesn't deserve it, then see the same people fighting, and then the second time around they're not
the same people, but then you're not getting the same fighter.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's not, they're not the best version of themselves. They're a different fighter.
So it's more like, you're getting you're getting this person again, and it's a big name, but I don't know. It's like, how many more times are you going to throw, how many more times are you going to call on her when you need somebody? It's like, how many, we always kid about doing volunteer work like that. It's like, well, you can't ask the same people all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, because they get burned out. And it's like, this is kind of what you're doing to the fighters too. It's like, you're going to ask Andrade every time you need somebody to fight, or, you're going to call on these guys that are, they're ready to go, like Strickland or whatever. And it's like these guys that you just throw in there.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, there's 500 fighters on the roster or whatever there is. It's like, how come they can't, how come more of these guys aren't ready to fight or whatever, or ready to, at a moment's notice to fight?
Right. Yeah. I mean, a couple things maybe to bring up. The one thing I will say is it is probably tough, just playing devil's advocate. It was probably tough to, when you get, like, there's a lot of, like, last-minute injuries in UFC, because when you're training
for sure,
pretty intensely. You're sparring, you're doing this and that. It's an easy sport to get hurt in practice, training, whatever you want to call it. So that may stay on that page, actually, for a second, because that may have something to do with some of these last-minute events, like Gilbert Burns, whatever. But if you scroll down and you look at that card, the Vettori Cannonier card, I believe it's in June 17th. They're the only fight on the schedule.
It's in 5 weeks. They're the only ones listed on the website currently.
Right. So I get it. They're probably formulating and whatnot, but it's in 5 fucking weeks. A training camp is 6 to 8 weeks long.
That's what I mean. It's like, how come they don't, I don't know. It's just a planning thing for me. Like, if I was Dana White, whatever, I can say whatever I want, and I think he does a great job, but it's like, wouldn't you be planning like at least 3 months ahead of time?
Right.
Like 3 months, you should have cards lined up and giving people that kind of notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe they are, and they just don't publicize it.
Right.
But
I mean,
but that's the thing, when they're it seems like when they're scrambling to fill these fights, when either somebody gets hurt or they're trying to, this Belal Burns fight, they just threw that together to have a fight.
Right.
Like, and to have a halfway decent fight, to have a co-main event.
Yeah. And then that's the thing that is spurring this whole conversation, is like, then we don't get to see the best version of Gilbert Burns, and we don't get to see the best version of Jessica Andrade, and it definitely takes away from the fight a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it's like, okay, Belal landed the knee to his shoulder, this and that, hurt him, but like, you're still not seeing the 100% Gilbert Burns when he's walking into the octagon, and it takes away from the fan experience.
I mean, let's get into that fight because it's next, but I think that, maybe that had something to do with it. It's like, he got injured in the first round, Burns, and then he wasn't the same for the next 4 rounds, but whatever, still a valiant effort by him. But, really, did he get hurt because he just fought 3 weeks ago?
Right.
Or 4 weeks ago, whatever it was?
Yeah.
It's like, your body is not, your body needs time to recover. You can't just come in and expect to be that.
Even if you're not injured, you're probably still more injury prone.
Right.
Coming off a fight 3 weeks ago, no matter how convincing your win was. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, I don't know if, Gilbert Burns on his best day would have beaten Belal this past weekend, because
I just don't, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, because really, like, I just didn't think even in the first round we were seeing the same Gilbert Burns. We just weren't.
Right.
And whatever, it is what it is. Some guys have off nights, some guys are tired, and obviously he was, showed the effects of just fighting in the last pay-per-view.
Right. And then after the first round, he was rendered a one-arm fighter.
Right.
He was throwing the right hand, and that's basically it.
Right. So I mean, I think it was in the third round. I think he threw like 3 punches the whole round.
Yeah. And then, Belal probably definitely realized that his left arm was hurt and kept kicking his left arm.
Right. I mean, and we can go back to, I'm not taking anything away from Belal, because the guy looked amazing. And him, he's coming off of Ramadan. They called him during Ramadan. He's like, I'm fasting. I'm doing all this stuff. And it's like, you give me 3 weeks notice, then he had to get ready in 3 weeks after.
Both these guys had 3 weeks notice.
After, fasting for however many weeks they fast and do all that stuff. It's, it's a grueling schedule just to do that.
Right.
So, he had some issues coming into the fight too, but I mean, all in all, he looked like the much fresher fighter, looked bigger, wider, looked like crazy kicks. I mean, he was destroying Burns' right side with those left kicks.
Yeah.
Back, landed a
dictated the
number
pace
of
of the
kicks underneath his elbow, right in his ribs. I mean,
Oh,
just,
some of those sounded wicked
yeah,
too.
I mean, just amazing performance by him and whatever. I still can't understand, like, you guys on Twitter and all these other people that are bashing Belal. It's like, listen, that's why I wrote that up there. Belal's next.
He's got to be.
Just to rub it into all you Belal haters. I don't agree with it, and I think it's ridiculous, and I think you guys should go back and watch some of his fights that you think are boring.
Yeah.
Takes out Sean Brady, was undefeated at the time.
Yep.
Takes out Gilbert.
Yeah, got zero credit for that.
Right.
As far as MMA Twitter goes,
Right,
nobody
exactly.
gave a fuck about
Everybody's
him
like,
Sean
Brady. Who's Sean Brady? Yeah, well,
what the fuck do you mean who's Sean
guys
Brady?
were
Undefeated.
kissing his ass before that anyway.
Exactly.
But anyways, I'm not going to get into an argument with myself here, but it's, it's just a thing where it's like, that finally he's going to get his shot. So we'll see, it's like, yeah, finally. Finally the guy wins 9 fights in a row. I don't care if the fights are boring or not. You won 9 fights in a row.
Fights in a row.
Right.
And that's the thing that, like, whatever, like they say in sports in general, it's like the way to, just be undeniable. And Belal's been undeniable for 5 fucking fights now, and he still hasn't gotten a shot.
Yeah.
And, it's Dana White's decision. He's been undeniable to Dana White, and he still hasn't gotten a shot, which is super frustrating.
But in defense
wanted
of...
to give him Shavkat Ramonov.
Exactly.
Fuck you. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Yeah. Thank God that he
Here's
got
the next
Gilbert
killer
Burns.
in the division.
And if they give him Shavkat after Gilbert Burns,
Or
I might be
Chimaev.
done watching the UFC forever. I'm serious. It's just, they better give him a title shot.
No, they are. He's guaranteed to fight the winner of Colby and Leon Edwards. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's what happens when you get to the top of the division. It's hard to get that title shot, I think, like we were saying with Frevola even. It's like he's going to hit a brick wall once he hits the top 5, because then you're talking about, are these guys, is a Michael Chandler really going to want to fight Frevola? It's like they have to have the right matchup also.
Right. Yeah, those guys... The guys in the top 5 definitely have a little more say or dictate a little more who they're fighting. They could kind of say, whatever, maybe,
Yeah, it's weird how that works, though, because it's like it is and it isn't. Like, Dana White told Leon Edwards he's fighting Colby, and they asked him in the press conference, has there been any discussion about that or any movement on that? He said no.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's not scheduled.
But I guess they're fighting.
I guess they're fighting, and I think that Edwards doesn't want to fight him. Yeah. And... for whatever reason it is, whether it's true that he doesn't think he deserves a shot or whatever. Yeah. And, because Colby's been, absent for a year or whatever.
Yeah. I think, when Dana White was saying that in whatever press conference it was, or whenever he said it publicly, he was just, he's Colby was there. He made weight for being the backup for the fight and this and that. And he won, I just feel like that played.
It's kind of a sticky point, because it's really like, Dana White, I don't know. To me, it's like, just fucking tell these guys who they're fighting. Like, you're under contract. You're fighting this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get, like, there's circumstances sometimes, but it's like, if you're under a contract, you sign a contract to fight, then, this is the path that you're going to take. And this is, and a lot of this, like, offering fights, I can see if the guy's, like, not ranked or whatever, like some of these legend guys who are, like, fight once a year and, like whoever, like Masvidal or whatever, and comes back and has, they only want to take bigger fights or whatever.
Yeah. That's a little different scenario.
If you're trying to move up the rankings, then you got to fight certain guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, same thing with Makhachev.
I was just going to say,
enough of this bullshit of him like, oh, I'm moving up a division. Well, you got fucking killers in your division that you should take out. Clean out the division like Volk did and like Izzy did and Usman did at the time.
Right.
And it was like, clean out your division.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, we could talk about that forever with Islam, but it's like like you said, he thinks he's at that status of Izzy Usman at the time, whoever. And it's like, dude, you got to beat the guys in your division before you can go and think you can fight up. I don't know.
Yeah, and especially now, it's like it is a long discussion, but he, fought Volkanovski, was a great fight, barely beat him, whatever. Yeah. It was kind of a super fight, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I mean, go back and let's see you fight. If Dariush wins, they better make him fight Dariush, because that's the next guy.
And that's a great fight.
Right.
I don't know. And it's not fair to the division. even guys who are unranked or
right.
ranked
I mean,
15,
he's already beaten
hold it up.
he's already beaten Oliveira, so it's like it's either Dariush or it's Poirier, in my opinion. It's like, who are you fighting? Poirier's been sitting around for a while. You know, why? You know, they should be making that kind of that matchup now. Even
yeah. And if he wants to go to 170, then he should have to vacate the belt.
Right. Exactly.
If you want to fight whoever in 170, it's not your belt anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So whatever. We're not going to dwell on that, but good on Belal. Good on him getting a title shot finally,
Yes,
whether it's against Covington or Edwards. I think he's got a decent shot against both. Both's going to be a great fight. Whatever it is, whoever it is going to be a great fight. I mean, Covington is awesome, and Edwards is, proven the doubters wrong, really. So,
right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Speaking of proving some doubters wrong, talk about Aljo and Cejudo if you want.
Yeah. So moving on, main event, Aljo and Henry Cejudo. So kind of surprised. I was surprised at this fight. I think I was personally surprised at how good Aljo looked. I thought he looked amazing, and I think Cejudo said that after the fight to him. He just, he underestimated Aljo's wrestling and ground game and all that, and I think that he surprised Cejudo also,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I said to you when they were walking out, it's just funny that Aljo, when he got the belt, he was illegally kneed by Jan. Everyone thought, okay, bullshit way to get the belt. Jan's going to take it back. He's going to be a one-time champion.
Yeah.
And now he's had 4 title defenses.
Right.
It's fantastic. I don't know what it is. He obviously made heavy improvements since then in his own game, but it's been amazing to see him defend the title over and over again. Now against one of the all-time legends in the sport of in combat sports.
It's
Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge win, and I think it's even going to be, I think it's going to be, an underestimated win. I think I think even now, like, people aren't really giving him the credit that, like, Cejudo's a legend. Like, this guy is undoubtedly one of the greatest UFC fighters ever to walk in the ring.
Also has an Olympic gold medal in freestyle wrestling.
Right. And granted, he wasn't, he's been off for 3 years, but it's like he looked, granted, maybe he didn't look like the old Henry Cejudo, but he still was awesome.
He still, right, exactly. I mean, John Jones took 3 years off, came back, still can be good. I don't know what the age difference is, but I'm just saying, it's not like he's like 65 years old. It's still Henry Cejudo.
No, he's 36, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, right.
But that's the other comparison. It's like you compare to John Jones, and you're like, holy fuck. I mean, how good is John Jones?
How good is John fucking Jones?
It's like he comes back and just like, whomp, you're done.
Wipes the floor with gone.
You're done.
It's a good comparison.
It's over.
Right.
The fight's over before it even started.
Right.
This one was a tough fight.
Right. It's a good comparison, though, because it's really two legends of the sport. Like you said, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know. I don't think people are giving Aljo enough credit. That's a very good point. I never really thought about that, but I
don't know. I really didn't pay attention online and what was being said about.
I haven't seen it.
That's
the thing. I haven't seen like crazy win for Aljo. This is insane that he beat Cejudo, because that's how I feel about it.
I'm just laughing because I say I haven't been paying attention online to what's going on with Aljo because I've been inundated with Belal haters. But anyways, trying to respond to all you people that are hating on Belal for winning and me calling it. Belal, I called it, by the way. I called it. Go back and watch a couple of videos I did. I called it. I said, bet on Belal.
Yep. Belal better give us an interview for that one. Right? We've been defending his honor on social media all week.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because I feel like I'm the only one out there. I feel like it's not many people like him.
Not many people like him at all for whatever fucking reason.
Whatever. It is what it is. People
like to jump on the easy target as far as
exactly.
Whatever. Oh, we hate this guy. Yeah, fuck this guy.
Did you see the post-fight press conference? He was wearing a jersey, like a New Jersey jersey or whatever.
Oh, really?
It's like it said Jersey on it. He's like, I'm trying to convert the jersey. People are hating Jersey. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
I don't know.
You told me he said in the press conference, like, New Jersey sucks. Why do you think the Nets went to Brooklyn? Basically.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. He's kind of like Cejudo, like they call him Captain Cringe or whatever. You know, it's like he tries a little bit too hard to be funny sometimes and whatever. But I mean that he does come up with some funny lines. But
that one was a good one. Why do you think the Nets went to Brooklyn?
He has to come up with those kind of things because I think he knows that people are just gonna boo him.
Right, and it's like whatever, man. He is undeniably good, fantastic, amazing, well polished, well rounded, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got, I don't know. I just feel like whatever. It just is hard defending him by yourself.
It is. It definitely is. It definitely
is. But yeah, so, I mean, great fight. I mean, this fight really, I thought Aljo won. There's some other people saying Cejudo won. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was definitely 3-2 for Aljo. I thought. I could see how other people were saying maybe. I mean, I'll go back and watch it, but I don't know. I thought Cejudo they both made good adjustments, and you know, that's what Cejudo was saying. He's like kind of mad at himself for not adjusting a little more. You know, about adjusting. You know, I think at the first round he said he's mad at himself for letting Aljo steal that first round because I think he got a takedown right at the end of the first round.
Right. I mean, speaking of the first round, Aljo came out right away and dictated the pace of the fight, and that's what you have to do against a guy like Cejudo. I feel like.
I think he was in his
control.
In his face, pushing him back. You know, taking the action to him. But in the other rounds, it was Cejudo kind of doing that. You know, it was Cejudo kind of in the third and fourth. I think I really noticed that Cejudo was really kind of taking it, pushing the pace to Aljo. But so good back and forth fight. I mean, lived up to the hype. I thought. You know,
definitely. Yeah.
I don't know what more you could have expected from that fight, but it was It was great.
I mean, pretty like you keep saying, and I said, underrated win by Aljo. Apparently, apparently an underrated win.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge win for him, and it really cements him as, you know, definitely, you know, just another feather in his cap to put himself into that elite conversation of one of the best ever.
That's going to be on his record forever. Beat Henry Cejudo. Defended the belt against Henry Cejudo.
Well, and I think the question is...
Took down Henry Cejudo for the second time in his UFC career.
Exactly.
Come on.
And I really think the question is, you know, he's going to fight O'Malley next, and it's like, is he going to... This is going to be another...
This is a great division,
I mean, it's a great matchup because I feel like they're almost like O'Malley's taller than him, but Aljo has the same body kind of type as O'Malley a little bit. He's tall for the division, you know.
Aljo's a little more muscular, I would say.
For sure,
But still, they're...
But I mean, height-wise, length-wise, you know, I think they're both obviously O'Malley's the longest in the division, but, you know, I feel like he's one of those guys where it's like it's an interesting matchup because I think most guys O'Malley fights in this division are going to be shorter and he's going to have the reach advantage. Yeah. You know, he will still have the reach advantage, but not nearly as much as he did in this against Jan or against, you know, some of these other guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a different animal. He's going to, you know, really have to stuff the takedowns and, you know, whatever. That's going to be a great fight. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And that was interesting to see that they called him in the ring. And afterwards, Dana was like...
When was that ever a thing? When's that ever been a thing?
Well, wasn't it Aljo go? Who did Aljo go in the ring when they fought? Wasn't it Aljo? Or somebody went in the ring not too long ago. Oh, it was Volk went in the ring. Remember?
Right.
Yeah,
they did do that. Okay.
Yeah. And I think Aljo went in the ring too when somebody else fought.
Really? I know the only time I can really think of it happening was in Bellator when Sabatello won and they brought Stotts.
Yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah.
But I mean,
they do that because they automatically know who's going to fight next.
Right, it's a little bracket.
This was kind of, and I think this was kind of, you know, Dana White knew this was going to happen, or he okayed it to happen, or whatever. Because I think in the post-fight press conference, he said that he's like, I think that was a big mistake. So whatever, he got it. O'Malley, for those of you who haven't seen it, but anyways, it was like got in the ring. They were talking shit a little bit and blah, blah, blah.
You better look better
O'Malley
than that.
took off his
You better look
jacket.
better than that.
Marab grabbed his jacket. Marab was on the top of the ring with his jacket on, caused a big melee in the ring. Or not big melee, but whatever.
I mean, it was definitely
some pushing, shoving.
Scuffle. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, if I was O'Malley, I would have been screaming at Jan something about how he doesn't want to fight Aljo, and now he's trying to fight me and this and that.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever.
Yeah,
that's a whole other.
Yair, you mean, yeah.
What?
Yair, is it or no?
Marab and
Marab.
Aljo
Marab, okay.
They don't want to fight each other.
Oh, I thought you said Jan. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah.
Marab, I'm talking
Marab
about.
and Aljo.
Yeah.
If you don't know the story, they're training partners. Don't want to fight each other.
Yeah.
Marab's a top contender.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, that definitely sparked a little beef between O'Malley and Marab.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the whole thing was kind of stupid, to be honest. It was like Marab takes his jacket like some fucking grade schooler, and like what are you're stealing his jacket? Like, dude, just knock it off. Seriously. Like, really?
His moment in the limelight.
I mean, really? It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Got to play up the theatrics every now and again.
Yeah, and I was surprised they interviewed Sean O'Malley. Like, he was on the post-fight press conference, too. I don't know if you saw that, but
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was one of the guys they interviewed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched the interview. I mean, he didn't have much to say, but it was interesting.
It's not really his spot, personality-wise. I feel like to come in the ring and try to talk shit and this and that. He's more like a quick on the feet, witty, funny kind of guy.
He didn't come across as like the most good on his feet talker.
Well, as far as that goes, I feel like it just looked like, even when he was walking up behind Aljo, it just really looked like the UFC was like, go ahead, go do it now, go do it. And he's like, all right, like whatever, like you better look better than that.
Yeah. He just kept yelling at him. You better be better than that.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever. Sean O'Malley's a top fighter in the UFC for me. I'm not talking shit, but yeah, it wasn't his scenario.
Yeah, it looked a little staged or whatever, but I don't know, whatever. It is what it is, but it was just fun. It was fun to see. You usually don't see that kind of stuff in the UFC, and especially with this, it was fun to see. I mean, we're big Sean O'Malley fans, so it was good to see him in the ring, and we saw his coach in the beginning in the stands.
Yeah, I was like, there's Tim.
Yeah, we didn't know if he was actually there, but then they showed him after or whatever. Yeah.
Very cool. Very
cool. But all right, well, good on that. I think that we covered it all, and I think all in all was a great card. I mean,
fantastic.
And I think coming up this Saturday, we've got a really good fight night coming up too.
Strike Almeida is fantastic.
I mean, this is going to be a great fight. Almeida is definitely one of the up and comers, and just been wrecking people in the division. So, so we'll see. We'll see what he does at Rosenstrike, who was a previous top 5 name.
Yeah.
But a fight I'm really looking forward to is Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker. I love watching Johnny Walker fight.
Yep.
I think he's just so awkward at times.
Yeah.
Every fight something weird happens. I mean, it just seems like for those of you who haven't seen his last fight, go back and watch his fight against Paul Craig.
Yeah.
It was just such a weird, things happen that you've never seen before. Like,
it's true.
He literally grabbed Paul Craig's leg on a kick, held it, and just punched him in the face like 4 or 5 times. And then, it was just amazing. I mean, he just did it's just an awkward kind of fighter, but
always
then
brings
again,
the theatrics.
Then again, it's always something to see. And Anthony Smith is no joke, obviously. And
of course, yeah.
Kind of felt bad for him not getting that title shot that he was kind of hoping for. But
and then we got D-Rod versus Ian Carey. That is also top of my list. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah. I mean, Ian Carey, I love.
Ian Gary's fantastic.
It's gonna be a great fight. I like to see if Ian Gary can stay undefeated against. He's definitely fighting a ranked guy now, and see what happens. So, but other than that, Angela Hill, got Tim Means, Matt Brown, Court McGee's a great fight.
Right. Chase Sherman, Cody Stamen, fighting each other, but just looking down the list.
Yeah, good names on this. Brian Battle, good names on this card coming up this Saturday. So
definitely.
So they're bringing it this week with a fight night. I think it's a good, a good kind of whatever semi-free event. I guess you got to pay for ESPN Plus, but
probably maybe already have it. Definitely tune in, watch the prelims, watch the fight nights. They're fantastic. So
yeah. So who knows? All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, whatever they say to do.
Whatever you do, just do it.
Whatever you do. Yeah, thanks for following. Thanks for the interaction on other social media.
Yeah, it's been
sites
great.
like TikTok and Instagram, things like that.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
We're out.
See you later.